Well, hello, you fine peeps. Welcome back. How you doing? Darren Hayes here from Abundance Capital Solutions. I appreciate you guys coming back in. So we've been talking now for the last half a dozen videos about how to raise capital in the good old USA, and also how to do it, without staying out of jail. It's always a good thing. So we've covered exemptions such as Regulation D, several exemptions within Regulation D. We did 506, 506B, 506C, 504, and we're going to continue on in this video with more exemptions within the Jobs Act. Just to recap for you folks that are watching this video for the first time, the Jobs Act was enacted by Congress back in 2012. It actually stands for Jumpstart Our Business. A little trivia there. So if you guys didn't know that, Jumpstart Our Business, Jobs Act. And I think that the following um, exemption I'm going to talk about here, Reg A plus, which is pretty cool, was enacted, I think, in 2015. It's also known as Title 4 of the Act, I believe. But anyways, it's called Regulation A plus, and it's known in the marketplace as a mini IPO. So it's yet another way that you can go out there and you can raise capital. And this one here is a little different. It's much more cumbersome. It has a lot of benefits, and I think it works, fantastic for a lot of people. A lot of people, it's really catching on. And so, like a lot of exemptions out there in the SEC and guidelines, it has two different options. It has two tiers, Tier 1 and Tier 2. I'm going to go over these fairly quickly and briefly. I don't want to bore you with a million details. I really suggest you go and have a look at the website, the SEC site, and go through it with a fine-tooth comb. But I'm going to go over the basics of these two tiers for you. Okay? So number one, Tier 1, you can raise up to $20 million. Okay? You can also generally solicit. Okay, you can also generally solicit with this one to non-accredited and accredited folks. So that's pretty cool. There's the attraction right there, right? Now the difference is that you're going to be doing a registration. You're going to be asking for an approval or a qualification with this. So unlike Regulation D, where we're just filing a notice, we're actually going to be filing these documents with the SEC. So there's going to be a process involved, and it's a lot more lengthy. In Tier 1, you're not required to have audited financial statements, and you have no ongoing reporting with the SEC. So that's pretty great too. So you can raise up to $20 million. You have no financial statement audit required, and you don't have to do ongoing reporting. The takeaway here is, again, just like Rule 504, we have no broad exemption for the state filing. So you're going to have to independently file with each state. And they have their own commissions and whatnot. So that can be, for lack of another word, a major pain in the ass. So that's the takeaway for regulation for Tier 1. Tier 2, we'll quickly go into that. Tier 2 allows you to raise up to $50 million in a calendar year, just like the 20 in Tier 1. In this particular case, the state regulations are handled, okay, so we don't have to deal with that. But this time we have to have 2 years audited financial statements, and we are going to have ongoing reporting afterwards. So, you have to make your decision. Do you want to do that or not? And so those are the big differences between the two. You have to make that decision. What makes the best sense for you? Do you want to have a? There's a couple other things that go on with this as well that make it an advantage. So I'll just jump into those right away. One big advantage to doing Reg A Plus, people feel, is that it contains something called Test the Waters. So this is very good for folks that aren't quite sure how the investing market is going to respond to what they're offering. So you can go ahead, if you use this exemption, and test the waters. It's just like when you go buy a car. You take it for a test drive, right? You want to make sure you like it and everything, you fit good in it and everything. So this is the same thing. You can go out there and test the waters without spending a huge amount of money that you would normally have to do, first of all. So that's really, really great. The other thing is too that if you do choose this exemption, then you do qualify to list your shares afterwards on the OTC exchange, and you can look at how that works if you want to dive into it more. But you can also have your shares listed for liquidity reasons afterwards. So those are kind of the breakdowns of what Reg A Plus is, the two different tiers, what you can do with those exemptions. Again, it's great. Now, don't be fooled though. This is a very drawn out process. It's very expensive. The Reg D offerings can cost maybe $5, $10, $15,000. You're looking at anywhere near from around 75 grand up to probably $150,000. And if it's a really big company that you're looking to do this with, it could cost you as much as $500,000 in maybe 6 months or longer. So totally different animal, completely different animal than looking at some of our other exemptions that we did look at, but does have a lot of great benefits to it. So I hope that's helpful. Hopefully that gives you a bit of a Reader's Digest or 30,000 foot view of what this exemption can offer you. Again, if you want to have more information or a more in-depth call about this, feel free to give me a call. You can DM me on my Facebook page and my YouTube page. I think I'm learning all that stuff. So just reach out. You can give me a call. We can have a chat. Talk about these different exemptions. I do this all the time. I help companies get through this kind of stuff and navigate these waters and find out what's the best way for them to go in raising capital. So again, put some comments down. If you have questions about what we're talking about, go ahead and ask them here. I'll try and respond to them. And if you have any other ideas of videos that you would like to hear about, some of the upcoming things I'm going to be talking about is crowdfunding. People are doing crowdfunding out there. You hear about all kinds of different people raising capital, different reasons, and I'm going to go into some of the nitty gritties on that. What is it? What kind of things can you do? How can you raise money doing crowdfunding? What types of crowdfunding can you do? So we're going to cover some of those. So thanks for coming out and watching again, and we'll see you next time. See ya.